Hi everyone, and welcome to my first study abroad video diary. So for friends and family who are actually curious about what I've been up to, well, I safely arrived in Beijing, China yesterday and have spent the past day eating, having fun, shopping, lounging around. Just want to emphasize that I got here safely and it's been off to a really good start. I even made this really cool art project with a few of my new child friends in the China Mall. That sounds a little creepy, but I promise it's not, definitely not as creepy as it sounds. So I actually just got to color in this design and can actually peel it off and stick it on a refrigerator or something, and that's what the guy said. But yeah, no, it's really cool. So I'm really glad I have that now as like my first souvenir. Yeah, so if you're a friend or family and you're wondering how I'm doing, well, I am safely halfway across the world from Roanoke, Virginia. But if you clicked on this video because you're one of those unfortunate souls who is also having trouble getting a visa to India, then you can also stay for this video and hear about my experiences and also the experiences of other people who actually helped me get mine processed. So, fun fact, I'm going to India after my next day in China to do a global scholars program through Columbia University. Um, so one of the things that my study abroad advisor asked me to do a long time ago that I never really got around to was applying for a tourist visa to India. And they asked you to do it between 4 days to a month before you travel. So you can't actually apply for it, I think, earlier than 30 days from the day you intend to enter the country. But after like applying a couple times and not getting my visa processed because the payment wouldn't go through, and reading about the experiences that other people went through online, I decided to make this video to compile tips on the best way to get a process as quickly as possible. So, the problem that I actually had with getting the India visa was getting my payment processed. So, the Indian visa you can now get online. It's going to be an e visa. So, you can just go to the address, like linked below, and then fill out your information. So, your birthday, passport number, all the typical things like that for when you're applying for a tourist visa. They will also ask you to enter your occupation. And that is really important because I've heard a lot of people actually get theirs rejected if they, want to maintain privacy and just click NA or something for that. But they just want to know who's entering their country, so it's really good to actually fill that out to make sure that your visa is accepted the first time. Another thing that they'll ask for is for you to upload a document of your passport scan, as well as a document including your photograph. So the same photo that you would be doing for a passport, you just had to submit a different one for the visa application. Just so they know like what you look like, how to identify you, anything if in case I guess anything goes wrong. Not quite sure. So if anyone knows anything more about like the background for these questions on the visa, please mention it in the comments below. But yeah, if everything goes smoothly, then you'll be basically pushed forward to the next part of the process, which is the payment. And that, my friends, is the problem that I've had the most trouble with. So I actually spent about 8 hours trying to figure out how to apply for my visa in India and ended up trying maybe like 10, 20 times. So I have memorized my passport number, which I'm not going to say out loud in this video, but if you're having trouble with your payment for the Indian visa, what you really have to do is you have to make sure that your credit card company knows you're making an international payment. So India is actually considered a high-risk country for credit card companies now because of the number of fraud cases that come out of the country. So if you don't actually tell your credit card company in advance, they won't actually allow you to make the payment. And even if you do sometimes, the fraud portion of the credit card company may still block your first transaction, and then they'll send you like an email or a phone call or basically let you know that the payment has been declined. So the only way to actually get the payment processed is to call the credit card and let them know that to go ahead and approve this payment. So I didn't figure that out until way later. I had called my credit card company telling them I was going to be traveling abroad, but apparently, even if you're making the payment from the States, because it goes through the State Bank of India or another Indian company, you actually have to go ahead and call them while you're applying for the visa. So once you do that, then and everything goes smoothly, you should be able to go ahead and send your payment. They'll give you the two options of paying through SBI, which is I think the State Bank of India, or Access. Um, After talking to some of the people who work in the consulate, apparently paying through Access is going to be your best bet, especially if you're using an international credit card. And they do accept most major credit card companies. If you wish to pay with PayPal, that's also an option that you can do on SBI or debit card. But I found like both of those options did not work for me personally after trying many times. So I think the best bet is, if you're an international person, to go ahead and use Access. So once you do it through Access, you should be getting a page that says payment processed. And even though the payment is processed, and they will go ahead and charge you the $76 fee regardless of whether or not your visa application gets accepted, you should be good to go. You'll just be waiting for your visa for about like 3 to 5 days, and they'll let you know as soon as they can. If it doesn't go smoothly and you still can't get your credit card to go through, what you can do is actually go onto their website and look up the help lines. You can try giving them a call. They generally just give you the same answers, like, oh, just try it again. Like try with another credit card, or call your credit card company, or do Access instead of like SBI. So I don't know how helpful that will be, but their last resort is actually to go ahead and either call Axis or SBI. And I actually tried doing both, and they didn't pick up. So they again like rerouted me to a different place. So what you can do is actually look up the email for the part of the Indian government that handles the visas. And what you do is you basically just go ahead and shoot them an email, and unlike most other bureaucratic emails, they respond pretty quickly. So I got a response from them within 18 hours. So that went really smoothly. And yeah, those are your options. I know I went through that really quickly, but yeah. And finally, what was I going to say? And finally, two more things. So I forgot to mention that during the application, they're also going to be asking you for a point of reference in India. So when I originally filled it out, I thought it had to be a person. And after looking online, I found out that the point of reference can actually be any, like, the name of any hostel you're staying at, hotel, um, and doesn't actually have to be the name of someone who you know in India. So you go ahead and do that, and then enter the address of wherever you're staying, and that should be good to go. And another thing, if you do try to pay for your visa more than one time, after the third time you try to pay, if it's unsuccessful, your application actually gets blocked. So what you have to do is go ahead and fill out the application again, which is how I know my passport number really well. So if you want to get super acquainted with yours, that would be the best way to do it. And I think those are all the tips that I have for you on how to fill out an Indian visa. So thank you for watching.